Arsenal's 2022-23 season was one of mixed emotions. They obviously did better than they did the previous season, elevating themselves from 5th on the Premier League table to 2nd after a drawn-out title race. But they had a real shot at winning the Premier League title for the first time in 19 years, and they bottled it. They were literally top of the table for the longest, but in the last few games of the season, they stumbled and fumbled the league. So, knowing that the 2023-24 season will very likely be make or break for the Gunners, the big question on everybody's mind right now is, how are Arsenal preparing for the new season? I'll answer that question in a minute. But before I get into it, kindly take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All done? Now, let's take a look at how Arsenal are getting prepared for the huge season ahead of them. So here's the thing. While last season was obviously a huge improvement from the Arsenal we were used to seeing, the boys couldn't exactly be in the grandest celebratory mode this summer, unlike their counterparts Man City, who cleared the 3 big trophies and partied for weeks. But nonetheless, it wasn't a bad season at all for the North London club, so the Gunners were awarded with some time off, and the boys did different things to relax. Saka went back to Nigeria, the country where his parents are from. He was pictured with the governor of Lagos State and on the street where his parents lived before they emigrated to London, where Bukayo himself was born. Zinchenko went back to Ukraine, where he was pictured with the president of the country and former Ukraine international Andriy Shevchenko. Jorginho took a romantic trip with his partner to the US, and the couple were pictured having a nice time at the Brooklyn Bridge. Gabriel Jesus went to Italy with his family, and you could tell they all had a nice time. Anyway, after a well-earned rest, the boys have since been back to training and are now working towards the new season. But wait a minute, while the boys were vacationing, what was happening back at base? The simple answer is business. Serious business. Arteta had just shown the club owners what he could achieve with a good squad and solid backing. So they were now really motivated to support him financially and let him build the squad he really wanted ahead of the new season. Arteta's goal this summer appears to be to drastically reduce the average age of the squad, and he seems to be getting closer to his goal with each transfer he does. He already said goodbye to 30-year-old Granit Xhaka and 29-year-old Pablo Mari. In addition to that, 30-year-old Thomas Partey, 27-year-old Rob Holding, 26-year-old Kieran Tierney, and 28-year-old Nicolas Pepe could still leave before the window closes. Meanwhile, the signings of 22-year-old Julien Timber, 24-year-old Kai Havertz, and of course, the new most expensive British player in history, 24-year-old Declan Rice, have already been completed. And not to forget, the deal of 22-year-old William Saliba was extended, and that should keep him at the club till 2028. This is good business all round. Recruitment that has benefited the defence, the midfield, and the attack. And of course, don't forget that they also signed Leandro Trossard and Jorginho at the beginning of the year, so that still sort of counts. But with all this business done, are Arsenal done yet? Definitely not. They're still looking to sign Brentford's David Raya, the goalkeeper who had the most saves in the Premier League last season. Of course, Ramsdale has not been bad at all, but the club is looking to compete in the Champions League and also battle for the Premier League title. So a little competition in every position on the pitch will be of great benefit to the team as a whole. There's also a possibility that they could get Aymeric Laporte from Manchester City. And of course, we all know what they'll be getting if they manage to pull off that signing. A solid and mature centre-back who has experience playing at the highest level and winning multiple trophies, including the Premier League and the Champions League, both of which Arsenal have their eyes on this new season. The formula worked last season with Jesus and Zinchenko, so we're not surprised that Arteta wants to go that route again. Oh, and there were rumours that Arsenal had their eyes on Kylian Mbappe, as he looks likely to leave PSG this summer. Now, even though it's almost certain that Mbappe won't be moving to London, it has to be said that Arsenal even being linked to Mbappe is a huge step up from how we knew the club to be in the recent past. But have Arsenal only been doing business in preparation for the new season? Of course not. They have also taken time to try and integrate the new players into the team. We also saw Captain Ødegaard and the rest of the team send a collective message to Emile Smith-Rowe, who was representing England at the 2023 UEFA Euro Under-21 Championship. They told him to bring the trophy home, and he did just that. That may have seemed ordinary, but it showed that Arteta was building some really strong team chemistry ahead of the new season. It showed that the coach thinks that the psychological aspect of the game is just as important as the physical. But of course, they didn't neglect the physical either. The club embarked on a pre-season tour of the United States from July into August, and it went pretty well. Yes, they lost to Man United, which obviously was not part of the plan, but they absolutely annihilated the MLS All-Star team 5-0 on home soil, and the big one, the game against Barcelona, which they won 5-3. These games were mainly to test the boys and integrate the new signings into the team, and you have to say that it's been yielding huge results. Apart from the games they have won, their new signing Kai Havertz has been on the score sheet twice, while Declan Rice and Jurrien Timber have produced good performances. And it was also good to know that the usual suspects like Saka, Trossard, Martinelli and Jesus still know how to find the back of the net. Also, these games were an opportunity for guys who are not guaranteed a place in the first team to try and prove themselves to the coach, and guys like Jorginho and Fabio Vieira really grabbed those opportunities with both hands by finding the back of the net. And then, the team wraps up the pre-season tour with a little trophy after beating Monaco in the Emirates Cup final. It's obviously not a major trophy, but it's surely not a bad one to have at all. It's also a good way to have them psyched up as they battle for their first real trophy of the season when they face their rivals Manchester City in the Community Shield game on the 6th of August. That game alone means that Arsenal start their season earlier than most of their counterparts. So you understand why they had already started preparations for the new season, while players of some of the other teams were still vacationing or partying. And you could say that that Community Shield game against City is one of the most important games of the first quarter of Arsenal's 2023-24 season. That game will most likely set the pace for Arsenal. In fact, for both teams. But could you argue that Arsenal need it more, considering that City won a treble last season and they won nothing? As they prepare for a new season, Arsenal will be hoping they can start on a high. And what could be higher than starting out with a trophy before you even play your first Premier League minute of the season? Especially when you beat the Premier League and European champions to clinch it. It would be the biggest gift for Arteta and his men. So, best believe, the boys are preparing extra hard for this Community Shield game. The fans might be looking at it as just another pre-season game, but the way Arsenal are preparing for that game is definitely a lot more than that. So, as far as preparations for the new season are concerned, Arsenal appear to have been doing it better than most other teams in the league. From the business they've done to the integration of the new players into the squad to their performances in the pre-season, the boys seem more than prepared for the 2023-24 season.